Hey, what's going on, family? Apologies for starting the stream late, but we're here now. We'll get into the technical analysis in just a little bit, but first, music. I wasn't entirely sure if the music was playing, but it seems like it is, so let's just have a quick overlook at the market before we put our value levels. Yeah, so this is where we were yesterday, all the way at the bottom of value, which is crazy. I don't know what happened overnight, but it must have been pretty, yeah, must have been pretty significant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, so yeah, we're all the way in the 400s now. So to be honest, it doesn't look like previous day value is gonna be in play at all today. But still, we're still gonna mark the levels regardless, you know. So we are funded now. So yeah, just wanted to make sure that we're on the right account. But yeah, that's our previous day value area high at 552. Previous day point of control at, give me a sec, at 545. Previous day value area high, low rather, at 533. So that's previous value set. Let's make sure we bring this a little closer. Yeah, it seems like once we rejected that, once we rejected previous, you know, the previous week value, we really didn't want to participate there. So we'll have a look at the Globex in just a little bit. I think we can get rid of initial balance. Let's remove that. This is yesterday's initial balance. So yeah, so it, you know, kind of feels like the type of day we're gonna have today is gonna be reliant on overnight levels, you know. So we'll sort those out just now. put that back to a 24-hour. Yeah, just fell. I don't even know what this was, but from 500s all the way down to 450s. You know, so we were around previous day value area low, and then just tanked. So I'm obviously yeah, look, obviously I'm not that invested in where price is. Like, I'm just gonna trade whatever I see, you know. So you know, so and what I mean by I'm not invested that much in prices, I don't have an ETF. I don't have I'm not invested in like the fund like that. So whether the S&P's at 6,000 or 7,000 or whatever, I really don't care. You know, I'm just gonna take trades based on where price is and what it's doing. You know, so 525. And 490. Yeah. $542. Will give us just another 30 seconds, and yeah. $490, $525, $543.50. Okay, so and then we'll just mark out our TPOC from yesterday. But that's the bell, that's New York. Yeah, you can see, like, I mean, we're all the way down here. Our time point of control is at 546.50. So 546 to 50. Yeah, doesn't look like we want to come back at all, man. Obviously, just based off where our value is, you know what I mean? 489 longs, you know, that's what I'd be looking at doing. You know, 489 longs. Yeah, maybe up to overnight point of control. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I should have like a separate chart for the overnight and then a separate chart for the Globex, you know. Might do that next week. Yeah, we're like so far away from, I mean, just looking at, let's have a look at the TPOs. I think that's what's going to give us a better read, right? This was yesterday's open, this was yesterday's close, and then we're opening all the way down here. So it's either that's news or, you know, let's have a look at Forex Factory. Forex Factory, financial juice. One sec, boys. Oh, $100 oil. $100 oil again? $100 oil is a result of disruptions in its transportation or production. The fire US is igniting in the region's oil and gas fields will engulf the entire world. Okay. That was at 3 o'clock my time. It's 3 p.m. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like roundabout here, but I mean, this entire move from 12:38. See if there was anything that was said. Trump on Truth Social, US will hold Iran responsible for blah blah blah. Yeah, well, yeah, you know, I think we're gonna go long from $490. Got a buy stop here. Good target value area high. As just a full rotation. Honestly, I mean, even the TPOC, but that's beyond our yeah, that's not inside our that'll be exceeding the dollar amount we're allowed today. So but yeah, why are we going long from here? Because this is where the market spent the most time. Really from like 509, 508 up till 547 in the last 3 days. This is where, you know, volume was transacted. So honestly, even up to like 508 would be a valid target, but yeah, we could retrace back to the 548s just to recorrect that move. That was pretty impulsive, I think. So yeah, we don't have much as far as support is concerned. Like once we get tagged there, it's just gonna be dependent on how the profile develops. Yeah. So yeah, so I think we'll just keep it around overnight levels. Just do the overnight levels today. Overnight point of control, overnight value area low to overnight value area high. switch back to the custom, and then also let's check that with the composite volume profile, and just just make sure it makes sense. Yeah, 504s would be the value area low of the composite. So if you can break into the 490s, probably the first sign of resistance will be around the 504s. But then where is to be honest, I mean, we're only targeting the point of control, which isn't too far of a target, so let's see. I mean, we could reject value once we get here. But I think that's going to be our trade for today. Yeah. Make this 530. See if we can get that. See if we can max on the trade. Because again, if we can break inside overnight value, if we can break inside overnight value, then of course in the overnight point of control would be the next target, right? And then if we hold inside overnight point of control, previous day value area low is right there. So, a test of that wouldn't be too far-fetched to expect. So yeah. Let's see if we can get that. We also could very much just like reject the overnight value area low. Yeah, that's also a possibility. But yeah, I do feel like the whatever news that was, I feel like maybe that's what spooked the overnight participants, you know what I mean? So it's why we're all the way down here and why we've had this it's a pretty sizable gap, but again, overnight participants. So I do feel like if we do break back inside value, then point of control and value area low would be places to pull the market towards. Outside of that, and I mean, like, what did I say? 504. This is our value area low. So what about here? 504. Our composite value area low is there. So right now we're outside of value. So we break into overnight value, cool, and then we try and break into the 504s. And if we break into 504s, above 504s, then we're inside the composites volume profile. And then from there, again, we would be above the overnight value area low. So fair value, overnight fair value. And from there, we see if we do get that result and move back into previous day value. kind of how I am reading it. But again, it's not a guarantee. I mean, we could just like tag that and then come back down. This is that there really isn't, there's not much to come back to. Unless we're revisiting 461, maybe. If we really want to be bullish about it, or unless someone tweets something, then maybe 461s and 420s, 400s, since we already are in the 400s, so. But yeah, it's my bet. So let's see. Point of control is right where our stop is. So, could get a tag, come back to the point of control. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if we do get back inside overnight value, then yeah. And maybe we find acceptance inside the overnight. You know what I mean? If we lose a trade, then we lose a trade. But, yeah, I'd much rather we come back to point of control now. And then if we tag the point of control now, that's like pretty finished, It's like 12. It's a total of 12 orders on the volume profile, so not a lot of enthusiasm at the top, so. But we'll see, that can change. If this does want to go lower, it will go lower. Then there'll be nothing we can do about it today. Yeah, and I mean, even like a test of VWAP would be great, like 469s, so even a test of value area low. And then let's determine for sure, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get a test. If we're getting a test of it, let's fade it or let's break through it. If we break through it, then we're going lower. And there's there's no trade for us then thereafter. Because what we'll be relying on is we'd only be relying on the developing volume profile, with nothing really to anchor us, so it's not really, I wouldn't be too excited to try something like that. But if we find support, if we hit these value levels, we can hit value area low now, or at least whilst it's still early. Our trading window is open, by the way. But yeah, if we can hit value area low, determine for sure, you know what I'm saying, see some form or some type of a battle around this area, fantastic. Either we break right through it and there's no trade, or we come here, we have a look below and fail, come back, and then we have acceptance of price to go higher, and yeah. But it's as I was saying, like this move could have happened right here. We could have, got to value area low, tagged that, and then came back, to where the point of control was, which was slightly lower. But I think where I'll put my stop for now is I'll put my stop at 470. At 470. So yeah, it still is like, whoa. What happened there? Someone say something? Wow, okay. So here's the that area low test I was saying. Either we get a break, we break below it, come back, retest, and then we come for these lows, and then that's the that's what the market wants to do today. We want to go lower, cool, but I'm not going to chase the market. Okay, so it's our value area low. It's our value area low right now, 462. But it seems pretty volatile today. I mean, could be one of those days where we just go risk off and don't place any trades at all, Because it seems like everyone wants to say something today. Everybody wants the mic today, so. But yeah. Value area low, again, if we are going to accept lower, then we're going to break through it. If we break through it, we go low, break and retest, classic break, retest, and then continue lower, take out these lows, right? And then that's the regime for the day. The regime for the day is, lower, but don't really have any, as I was saying, we don't really have any anchors. Did mention 460, what did I say? Yeah, 462. Little high volume node over there. So yeah, not much we can do. not much we can do because the levels that we trade from are all above us, right? Value area low, overnight point of control, previous day value area low, previous day point of control, previous day value area high. So and overnight value area high as well. So this is really about play. The real bet is, are you betting high or low when we get here? That's really what it's about today. That's what today is gonna, I feel like that's how it's gonna play out. Man, I haven't seen Delta this bad in like a very long time, fam. In a very long time, I've never seen Delta this negative. Right? Negative 11,500. So lots of people getting out, selling. And maybe also, to like form different types of DCs, right? If we closed at 548 yesterday, excuse me. If we closed at 548 yesterday, right? And you came into the market and the market was at 462, what's your first reaction? Right? You're probably gonna dump as well, right? Probably gonna get rid. You know what I mean? Just get out of your position, or maybe you're even being taken out of your positions because there are people who hold overnight. So you'd have held overnight throughout that entire down move. But also, you could also say that at some point, this auction is going to be too cheap. And too cheap meaning people are going to want to sell here. People are going to want to sell maybe at like the 400s. Because it's like, damn, bro, I want to sell maybe at the overnight point of control. I want to sell at the overnight fair value, because then you're getting more bang for your buck, right? Because you're not selling, so you can imagine if you bought iPhones. Everyone seems to use like iPhones as an example, but if you bought an iPhone at 7,400, if you bought an iPhone at 7.5, right? And then the next day iPhones were 7.4, you wouldn't want to sell, right? Because you'd be selling it cheaper than what you bought it for, but yeah, look, some form of support. Let's see. We are at VWAP. Do we buy or do we sell the VWAP here? I'm not trading the funded yet. The plan is to trade this back, to trade this account to fund it as well. So come October we can start trading two fundeds, and that's the plan. Whether that will work or not remains to be seen, but that's the plan. Okay. So first, somewhat clear break of value area low. If you're looking at the delta, I mean that's like lots of selling, right? But okay, it's kind of healthy. It's a healthy close. If you closed at like, you know, hammer candle, then maybe you would have considered that a weak break, but that's a pretty solid break.
I'm looking for the keys.
I just want to make sure that the stream is working perfectly. Okay. Okay, is that, you know, again, you know, we try to break below value area low, right? Again, still not a lot of like strong breaks. So I'm still I'm still confident about the long, you know, once we can hit overnight, you know, once we can get into the overnight value, you know, yeah, you know, so. Could be one of those like super grimy type of trades, like we just have to like really be patient, because I want to say there's nothing for us to trade. I mean, you could trade a level if we just wanted to take a trade. We could take a VWAP trade short or a VWAP trade long, but you know, again, it's like what I was saying earlier about like anchoring, right? Like what's anchoring us, you know? What do we have around here, around this area? You know, this is kind of no man's land. You know, it's like, yeah, maybe if we're using like a previous, damn, this was like from June. maybe if you're like 556 and you're using that value area low, but that's like from such a long time ago. You know, if you're like, okay, cool, that value area low, maybe 556. I'm going long from 556. Which is circa where we are right now, right? 556. But that's using a volume profile from last month, you know. So how much weight does that have? You know what I mean? You know. So structurally, how I'm reading it is, you know, we break back into overnight value. If we can get back into the overnight value, then we have a chance. Then it's 50-50 from there. You know, this would kind of be guesswork because again, we don't know how structurally sound 556 is, and also there's no saying whether the participants from a month ago, from the 29th of June, are still here holding their positions from the 29th of June. Right? You know, can't say that for sure. But overnight is like so close. Like it literally, overnight session was 33 minutes ago. So, you know, I feel like that has more gravitas. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna turn the volume up. If you are in the chat, give me a shout. Let me know you're here. Let me know how you're doing. What up, what up, what up? Hey, Kazi, what's going on, my bro? Yeah, man. Just trying to grind it out, man. It doesn't look like we're gonna get our entry like anytime soon, if we are gonna get an entry. But managed to pass one evaluation, so passed an evaluation yesterday, so we're funded on one account. So at least on one account, we're finally going to be transitioning to real money, which is good. I don't want to start, on a fresh account in the middle of the week, and this account needs work. So, just try and get this one funded as well. And then we have two accounts that are both funded. And the reason why I'm doing like two accounts, so that if I take a loss on one, then I cycle to the other one, then trade that up. If I take a loss in that one, then I go to the other one. If I take a loss in that one, because I have limits as far as like how much I can lose per account. So yeah, that way I stay in the game longer. So that on days like this, I don't feel hectic pressure to, I don't feel hectic pressure. I mean, of course, it's still like pressure or whatever, but it's it's not the same. Like when it's like one account, it's like that's your life. You know, every trading decision has to be correct, or otherwise you blow the account and then you have to start all over again and all that stuff. So at least with like 2 accounts. Can you hear the train? Yeah, but as I was saying, at least with like 2 accounts, take one loss, it's not that big of a deal. Losses are part of the game, but then you don't compound the L's, you know. So that's what we're doing. So right now we are on account 1, which is the first one that I started with. And then yes, when I took the loss on this account, then I went to account 2, and then I had like 4 really keen trading days. I managed to pass that account in 4 days. So back here now. But yeah, ramblings. Yeah, now Delta's like sitting in the negatives, still in the negatives, negative 12,000. Which is deep. Like I was saying earlier in stream that like I haven't seen Delta like this bad. So basically with Delta, what you're looking at is it's not gonna work. I thought we were gonna have like a little text box here. But with Delta, essentially it's the number of buyers minus sellers at a certain point. So it's not really buyers minus sellers, it's more like aggressive buyers versus aggressive sellers, because you're always going to have a similar number of buyers and sellers, right? So just kind of thinking of it, if you think of trading in that way, where someone is buying something, and for that person to buy that thing, they need to buy it from someone who's selling that thing, you know. So there has to be an equal number of buyers versus sellers, right? So for every buyer there's a seller, but then it's the aggression of either one of these participants that determine whether the market goes up or whether the market goes down. So there's a lot of buyers, if there's a lot of aggressive buyers, then the price goes higher, right? Because they're like, yeah, 445 I'll buy, 450 I'll buy, 455 I'll buy, 460. So the aggression is then what creates these moves, right? These parabolic moves, like straight up like that, right? But the market doesn't want to do this, right? So majority of the time, for most of the time, the market does this, moves sideways, because it's facilitating trade. So it's like, okay, cool. People want to sell, they can sell here. People want to buy, they can buy here. People want to sell, they can sell here. People want to buy, they can buy here. People want to sell, they can sell here. People want to buy, until it gets to a point where it's like one of these participants then decides to be aggressive, right? So like, okay, cool. We're gonna sell here, and we're gonna sell aggressively where you want to buy, and we're gonna sell here, and we're gonna sell here, and we're gonna sell here. You know, so it's just like the intent that then determines how price moves up or down, right? Which is what this graph shows us over here. What this chart shows us over here. It shows us the aggressive sellers and the aggressive buyers, right? So you can kind of tell, it kind of matches what you're seeing over here, right? So from this candle all the way down, it's aggressive selling, right? Buying, selling, buying, selling. But then at some point there becomes a mismatch. So you might see like really strong down moves, right? So you see like maybe like a candlestick like this, right? This is at 348. So for example, you see like a strong move like this, right? But then the candlestick doesn't look the same, right? Meaning that there's aggressive selling, but then it's being met with a passive buyer, with someone who's like, no, you can sell as much as you want to sell. I'm gonna buy everything, right? Because the reason why people get aggressive on either side is that price can move up. So if they get aggressive, not so that, but when they get aggressive, price moves up. So when you see aggressive selling or aggressive buying and there's no resultant move, it doesn't show on the CVD, cumulative volume delta, doesn't show here, then you get to see, then that's a clue that like, oh, okay, then there must be a passive buyer. This is kind of an example of it, like right at the bottom of this candle, right? You can see that's like selling, right? But then for your sell candles, you open at the top and then you close at the bottom, right? So it opened over here and then it pushed price all the way down, right? But then it closed higher. It closed higher than its lowest point, right? So now if you're looking at the candlestick, you can see that like this is a pretty big candle, but the aggressive move isn't reflected here. So there must be a buyer. You can deduce from that there's a passive buyer who's absorbed the sell orders here, you know. As to like final evidence of that, you know, we can see it like maybe in this move here. If like price gets down here, does the same thing happen? You know, the same thing happens, in, you know, that's more of a clue that like, okay, cool, there's a passive buyer at the bottom here, and then the inverse would apply at the top. So yeah, so I mean, without these tools, you know, without volume profile or anything, this is what the market looks like, and it's, you know, yeah, you know, the people would teach you to, I don't know, it's like funny things from fair value gaps, like the distance between, like, say, this candlestick and between the low of this candlestick and the high of this candlestick, and then you buy inside this area, you know, so you wait for price to come back within that area, you know, it should be here, and then you buy that, you know, so. And then there's inverted fair value gaps, where it's like from here, from the bottom of this candle to the bottom of this candle, and then if price revisits this area, then you sell that area, you know, so kind of like this here. But it's not really market mechanics, so I don't want to, you know. Yeah, you're absolutely right, bro. It should, you know, as you're saying, it should be trade-offs, right? Yeah, it should be trade-offs. You know, the aggression should skew the delta. So if you see aggression and it's not skewing the delta, then you're like, but like, that's a pretty strong up move. And then at the top, where you know, at the top with this at a certain area, right? You'd expect buyers or sellers, right? So, for example, why I have these volume profiles on is because the volume profile shows where the majority of the trading volume is, right? So right now, I mean, even without this, if I switch this off, you can kind of just like from looking at it with the naked eye, you can see where the majority of the volume is, right? And it's here. Like, but the majority of the volume is in where the most trade has happened. It's like this area here, right? But then now with the volume profile, you're not just like guessing. Now you know, like for real. Now you know where 70% of the traded volume has occurred, right? So I know it's between 471.50 and 452, right? So what do I expect? I expect that like when we get to a value area high, which is the highest point of the volume profile of that 70%, I expect that when we get here, we're gonna find sellers, right? Because we're at value area high. And where they're gonna sell to, they're gonna sell to value area low. And when we get to value area low, what are we gonna expect? Again, for buyers to step in, right? And then to push this higher. But then on occasion, what you get is you get breaks of these areas, which is then how I then create my DCs, and you know what I'm saying, where it's like, okay, value area high, right? We got there and then we sold it. Got to value area low, we got here and then we bought it, right? Value area high, got here, tried to sell it, failed, and then we broke above, right? But then again, now when we're breaking above, we're breaking into the previous week's volume profile, which would be the same thing, the same volume profile, just this time over a larger span of time, over a week, right? So this move would be the same as price coming into this volume profile and then not accepting inside value and then coming back down. So that's what we got. We got price to get all the way up to previous week value area low, which is where we traded from to yesterday. We got inside previous week value area low, and then we rejected. We didn't, you know, the market didn't want to auction inside previous week's value. You know, so what happened? Then it rejected, and then it came out of that value area, you know, back into the day's value. Right? And so today we're all the way down here. Like if you're just like comparing, this was yesterday's value, today's value is over here. So, you know, how do we then maneuver that? You know, what type of narrative do you then create to find opportunities? You know, to find opportunities to trade. And the way that I'm approaching it today is we also have overnight value. Overnight value being from 6 p.m. New York time till the open of New York, which is at 9:30 New York time, right? So during that time, these are the value areas. This is overnight value area high. This was the overnight point of control. And this was the overnight value area low. The point of control being fair value. This is where the majority of trade happened, right? As we're seeing in this volume profile, where there's the orange line, if you can see it, where there's this orange line over here, this is fair value, right? So this is the fair price to pay today, right? This is a discount. Down here is a discount, over here is a premium. Meaning over here is expensive, over here is cheap. So if it's cheap, what do you expect for people to buy, right? Until it gets to a point where what was cheap is now considered too expensive. And then if it's too expensive, then the market's gonna go lower and try and establish new fair value, right? A new price where it's like, oh, okay, cool. This is worth paying. You know, I want to pay that much for this asset now. You know, yeah. I think, you know, it's not everyone who reads the market this way, and that's fine. Yeah. It's not everyone who reads the market in the same way. And as I'm saying, you know, that's fine. You know, people have their own ways of determining how they're going to put on risk or not. You know, I'm using like market mechanics that are I'm using a method of trading that is used by professional traders. You know, so just going onto YouTube and like, you know, learning about order flow and auction market theory, just like how price moves up and down and all that stuff. You know, just so that I can also have like my own understanding and apply my own discretion to the way in which like I put on risk. So that it's not like every time I'm trading, I'm gambling. You know, it's not a good look. But yeah, I fuck with this song. Peace. Video 428. We're a minute away from initial balance. Initial balance being the first hour of the trading session. We can also see We can also see the initial balance using the TPO chart. Each of these letters each of the letters represents 30 minutes in the market. So A prints in the first 30 minutes, B prints in the second 30 minutes, C prints third, D prints fourth, E, F, G, H, I, all the way up to N. You know, so 3:30 our time, 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 6:30, you know, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, so 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5, you know, so every 30 minutes you get these prints. The letters correspond to a time frame, you know, so to each 30 minutes. You know, which is kind of like a roundabout way of going about it, but yeah, after some time, if you look at it long enough, it starts to make sense. But initial balance is the first hour, so it's like this purple candle, this purple line that we have over here. That's initial balance. So that's initial balance low at 445, and then at 486.50, that's initial balance high. Right. So its relevance basically is that like after the first hour, one of these levels has to be hit. You know, yeah, one of these levels has to be hit basically. You know, if I go back to the TPO, you'll see that like after we set initial balance, right? So remember, this only gets set after the first hour. So 30 minutes, 1 hour. So that was its low, and then that was its high. Right? So A prints, B prints, C prints. They didn't print below this low over here, right? C prints, and then instead we got like D prints above the initial balance high. Right? So, and then we got our initial balance high, then got tagged, you know, and not initial balance low. So even if we go back the other day, same thing. A prints, that was initial balance low. B prints, C prints, and then initial balance high got hit, and then the rest of the auction. On some days you get both hit, you know what I'm saying? So that was the day, I think it was Friday. Yeah. So no, not this day either. Yeah. So on this day, initial balance low, initial balance high. Did our A prints, B prints, D prints, hit the initial balance high, and then we did whatever it is that we're doing in the market, and then we hit initial balance low. So, but yeah, you know, some traders use initial balance to then determine where the auction is going to go, where the market is going to go after. It's not often that you get both hit at the same time, but what we're kind of like going to be holding on to like for the rest of the session is basically if we don't get initial balance low, right? This doesn't get tagged, then initial balance high would have to get tagged, right? So unless we come down here and then we get initial balance low, you know. If we don't get initial balance low and we break above this VWAP line, and we come back to initial balance high, then maybe we can get a long from our overnight value area high. Alternatively, what we could do is we could front run it and try and get long from 445. But yeah, again, like there aren't a lot of anchor points below that. I mean, at 445, if we go long from 445, I'll stop it at 425. So I mean, long from here, I'll stop it, go somewhere here. So I mean, not really a fan of that trade. I'd much rather, I don't know, yeah, just putting a stop here doesn't feel structural, you know. But it very well might be the trade if we want to place a trade right now. But from initial balance low, we hit that, you know, you could break outside of it, retest it, come back, and then continue going lower, you know. But if we don't hit that, if we don't get initial balance low, and we come back above the value area high, initial balance high, and then we're back inside overnight value, then, you know, I'm a lot more comfortable with us trading within levels where I know there's volume, and where there's, you know, levels that I know where they're like the value areas, you know. So yeah. And also, I mean, there's also, you could go long from value area low, but then again, yeah, not really a fan of placing trades on like not really a fan of placing trades on the developing volume profiles. Yeah, the way Delta is picking up though. Well, it was, but it ain't no more. We'll wait it out. I mean, yeah, we'll wait it out. That was pretty impulsive, and see, it didn't even get value area low, 445.70. Not value area low. It didn't even get initial balance. So. Yeah, and pretty complete auction at the bottom of 444.75 at the bottom of this volume profile. By complete, I mean like at each of these levels, like it shows you how much volume is being transacted there, right? But you know, right from the get-go, that's 14 in total. So it's not a lot of volume, you know, at the bottom of this volume profile, which we also have at the top of the volume profile, and why we got the reversal. Like volume will show you or tell you whether people want to transact there or not. Right? So you see at the top 12, you know, again, so 14 at the bottom, 12 at the top. Yeah, so. And again, I mean, if we do want to be a little more aggressive, we could try and take the trade from initial balance, you know. Yeah, we could try and take the trade from initial balance high. That will bring our stop a little into the volume profile. But yeah, I mean, we'll keep it at overnight value area low. Yeah, and then you know, if we are to break into above initial balance, you know, if we hit initial balance and then we break above it, and then we find acceptance inside overnight value, then cool. But first to see that break of initial balance instead of trying to get the break immediately from initial balance. You know what I mean? Just kind of feel about that. Yeah. Pretty strong push up in the delta there.
Sunrise, and the stories are found about, and I see what you did, and the only things I doubt. I'm reaching in the sky, Our time is gone. Your soul's a place again.
Might be a no trade there.
What the world
Depends
is
on
spinning. Might pretend it
depends
is
on how aggressive we want to be today.
I wanna be your man. You know the things I've done.
However,
I wanna be the
we do get a break below initial balance low,
lost your friend.
and we see some formation of like some weakness below, and we start coming back to initial balance again, and then we might just go long from here instead. You know? Might. And not like target something crazy. I mean, like VWAP. That would be bad.
Somewhere in the sun, and there's a quiet haze. I'm not a stranger.
Oh,
Is to found to rest in peace.
just goes to show how much we listen to this music. I mean, if you're just like reading the delta from the levels, right, from this candle here, from 436, the delta over here, negative 13,000, and then the delta over here, almost at the same level as far as price is concerned, but see how the delta is reacting instead, right? And how much higher up we are as far as the delta reading is concerned. So, buyers haven't really like turned this around, haven't turned this around at all, you know. But there's, you know, some form of presence of strong buyers. So even though prices, this is what I was saying about like a passive buyer. So even though price is all the way down here, right, just look at where the delta is. Let's do this. Alright, so from here to here. And then compare it from the same price point. Can't draw a line in the CVD, well that sucks. But yeah, I mean, but like from this point to this point. So let's take it from here to here. But look at where price is more or less at the same area, but the delta reading is different. So, you know. So now the way I'm reading it is that like, okay, so there's buyers, you know what I'm saying? Buyers are stepping in, like something is changing, you know. Until, you know, it changes again, then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Then I guess I'm Bobo the clown. You know, but Is it Bobo the clown or Bobo the fool? Either way, I pity the fool. Hurry up and wait. Like so much work that I need to do with this, like with these accounts, that even the idea, the prospect of like being outside, we're gonna need to do something about this camera, about freezing on stream, man. It's unbecoming. Time point of control is at 464. So, this is where the market has spent the most amount of time. So all the way up here at 464. So this should also act as a magnet. So I'm going back and just seeing what we have at 464. Yeah, kind of above the VWAP, closer to value area high. So might mean something, might not mean jack. But here we go, initial balance low. Let's see, do we get a break of this or not? Alright, see, so it's strong reaction at the CVD though. Yeah, it's a pretty strong reaction, no lie. Maybe another 2 candle prints lower. And then we could consider bringing our entry back here, down here to 444. Not right now, like right now I just feel like, this could just be a break and retest, so break, retest, and then continue on. Let's see, the CVD is not really picking up nice there, is it? 422's, that volume node over here, 422. Does it break below 440s? I don't know. Yeah. So we're gonna go long from initial balance low. We're already showing like massive intent to go low, so you know. If we are gonna break, then you know we break 440s and then we continue going low, and then that's pretty much the day. But yeah, we're gonna go long from just above initial balance low. Still is like some form of volume down here, so might have jumped the gun. But yeah, that's just volume profiles. Like the volume profile that put in, like that was the first profile before we went higher. That's its high. I mean, it's value area high over here. 440. So before below 440, and then 425s for sure. You know, because then we're inside this volume profile's value, right? So, what is the extended thesis? Basically, the volume profile, the day that was the low before the rally up, you know, that value area high, and that's what we retested and bounced from. So yeah, if the market needed to drink, then I feel like it's got its sip of water. But again, also that could have been a break, retest, and then, you know, for the downside. Not ideal, but you know, signs of weakness down here at 440, which does kind of align with that value area high. So just gonna have to wait and see. We're also about to get our D prints, so we'll see how this forms. If you start printing below this C period, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It really will be a thing that we really is trying to go lower. Would have much preferred this trade if it was like over here, but what can you do? What can you actually do? Yeah, real test of whether we're gonna be fine is how we react. Yeah, 446 if we can get there. Value area high, value area low of the developing volume profile. If we can break through, not break through, but get back inside the value level, inside the value area, and then then value area high, 468s. Point of control first, and then potentially value area high. Yeah. But if we break below this, then it's for a stop. It's kind of 50-50. Really 50-50. But yeah, you see, like this area here is kind of being protected. I said the same thing about this side here, but if we can break back inside value, then we have a good chance to get back up. But failure of which, I don't know. Failure of which, it's an L, my boss. Yeah. Yeah, you see these D prints here right next to the C prints. We're also trying to counter trade delta, you know what I'm saying? Like the delta is clearly negative. Glaringly negative. On a day that's also pretty bearish. But yeah, but I did say yesterday that if we are gonna get stopped out, let the market work to stop us out. You know what I mean? So I'll take the L if it's an L. Another thing, I mean, if like value area low, if this like moves outside of initial balance, if we can move now, that'd be great, because then we'll know for sure that like, yeah, we're on the wrong side of this 100%, so TPOC is what, 456? Let's see. Let's just have a look again at the volume profiles, because yeah, I mean, honestly, we're at this volume node, and I mean, if we fall past this, then clearly yeah. But you know, it's as I said at the beginning of the day, that you know, we really don't have any anchors, don't have anything really to anchor us for today's trade. So not particularly my favorite type of trading day. Let's just read the volume profile again. Yeah, still a way to go. I mean, also we are kind of accepting lower prices, you know what I'm saying? Okay, 15 is kind of good. This is gonna be a stop. Yeah, because our delta is struggling, boss. Look at that. Threes, 33, 32s, lots of 33s, 33.25, 33.50, 34s. we can start printing like 40s, and maybe, you know, if we print 40s and accept 40s, you know, because like, look, now what's happening is our value area low is overlapping with our initial balance, right? So, you know, that's kind of an early sign of we are accepting price below initial balance, you know what I mean? So the real sandwich is like 430s and 440s, you know? Yeah, because if we start printing like 420s, then the stop is right there. We're gonna get stopped out. 430 50s, 430 50s. And it's such a whole number. It's 425 even. Yeah, let's let it stop us out. I really wanted to do nice on this account today. But stop build. Yeah.
Stop build.
Kinda called it. Kinda called it. Hey boss, you better go lower. This thing reverses and goes back. I will be a little peeved, but yeah, kind of called it. Excuse me, 423.25 really is like the volume node for that. So yeah, not a fantastic day. That's 3 Thursdays in a row now. Look at that. We are kind of getting back to What could we have done better? Let's break it down. What could we have done better? Yeah, I do think maybe here we go. There's our acceptance of value area below the initial balance, right? So you know. Alternatively, we could have let this play out and get as far down as it could have, and then waited for the test back up, which feels like that's what we're gonna get now. Yeah. Which feels like that's what we're gonna get now. Initial balance low to VWAP. But yeah, stop was my daily loss limit anyway. See, my account is locked now till 5 p.m. tomorrow. Well, till 5 p.m. today. So yeah. Again, just not having any anchors, you know. We also maybe perhaps could have just played at the direction of the market. Just gone, okay, well, we're short, so let's go short from initial balance. And it's not like we didn't have any evidence to show it. We did. We had the CBD, you know, to show that. Yeah. But as I said before, it was kind of 50-50. We were, you know, at initial balance low. There was that value area high over here. Right? And what? 440. Yeah. So I'm not too mad at the L. Yeah. Not too mad at that. Yeah, as per usual, document this, journal it, and keep it pushing. Also we could have kept it as a no trade day since there wasn't any levels. I guess maybe that would be from being really critical about the performance. So it could be that like, you know, we weren't trading from our usual levels, right? Instead we were trading from initial balance low, which again was a 50-50 type of trade. Yeah, so I am mad at it at all. Would it be nice to, you know, to make some money, but it's not the funded account, so it's not the funded account, so I ain't too hurt by it. But yeah, but for sure, maybe if I played it that way instead. Again, this is just like hindsight being a bitch, right? But Maybe if I played it that way instead, if I gone, okay, cool, let's go short since that's what we want to do, and we went short from initial balance low, and then we targeted. This was gonna be our target for 22. Was gonna be our target. You know, low key, maybe even value area low for 14 or 400, since that's like where we're at. You know, 4 or 5 ish. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll have to come back again tomorrow and run it again. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, see. Yeah, just gonna have to come back again tomorrow, run it again tomorrow. I'm gonna have to stay on this account tomorrow because if I'm gonna have to stay on this account tomorrow. Cause I don't want to start the funded on a Friday at the end of the week. This thing comes back inside value and then goes back up. I'm not saying I'll be pissed off, but it's whatever. We'll come back tomorrow. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me. I will catch you tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9:15 EST. Yeah. First dollar of the week. I don't know what's up with Thursdays. Like last Thursday, I took an L. But last week's Thursday was different because like I was in profit and then I let it come back. And then the previous week, I did the same thing. I was in profit and I let it come back. Today wasn't like that. Today wasn't like that at all. So, what can you do? What can you do? Yeah, no, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Shout out to you for being on stream, listening to my ramblings. Yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.